Warm welcome, Markus Termin, Astrologisches Stundenbuch, Astrological Book of the Hours. It's the 1st of December 2023. Europe is snowy. Let's have a look at the chart of the day. It's going to be a moon change day. Moon changes from the sign of Cancer to the sign of Leo today. And when it changes to the sign of Leo, generally it makes a nice trine to the Sun in the sign of Sagittarius. So this is talking about the ground base, as always, a harmonic structure. Leo moon in between fire sign Sagittarius Sun. Before the moon does that, though, it will have an opposition to Pluto, which will occur at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Middle European time. And this is not an easygoing thing. So the day is split in two halves. And after that aspect, being in opposition to Pluto, which is the opposition in between feeling, family, and state authority up there, those are oppositions. State authorities up in Capricorn, feeling and family down here in Cancer. Then we have a void phase for about 3 hours until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And this is the chart for the changing moment of the moon from the sign of Cancer to the sign of Leo. And in between the void phase, the 3 hours that the moon is void, we'll have the change of Mercury from the sign of Sagittarius to the sign of Capricorn. That means Mercury goes in the change in between an influence, a Jupiter influence. That means Mercury is full of aims, full of plans, full of future interest, to the more serious and more reasonable and more reality-orientated Capricorn authority sign. And on a private level, this means it just makes sense when Mercury is in the sign of Capricorn to go on a more serious path, to find out any decision that you might take could be a decision of reason, especially concerning the idea of, is there an authority? Am I my own authority? Things like that. Mercury will go in his retrograde phase, though, from the 13th of December until the 2nd of January next year. So the whole Christmas period is a Mercury retrograde period in the sign of Capricorn. That's a serious matter. No, it's not all in the sign of Capricorn, because through his retrogradeness, Mercury will change back to the sign of Sagittarius again, ending his retrogradness, of course, in the sign of Sagittarius again. So the two royal planets, Jupiter and Saturn, will be dispositors for Mercury at that period. I'm just talking about that. That's not today. We are in the 1st of December. Mercury is not retrograde now. Mercury didn't even enter the shadow of retrogradness, which a lot of astrologers talk about. But it's a change of the sign, and that means intelligence and serious negotiations could be on the plan. The more that as the moon changes the sign into the sign of Leo, from Cancer to Leo, this is the 10th phase after the new moon in Scorpio. And the 10th phase is, of course, the Capricorn phase. That means the fiery trine in between Sun and Moon gets another Capricorn flavor adding to that. And Capricorn, of course, is the idea of authority. Now, if you look at the international stage, And you might realize that more and more countries are dropping off the so-called WHO deal, trying to put some measurements upon the world that might affect the sovereignty of the states. I can't be more clear on this platform here. The retrogradeness, Mercury going into the sign of authority and then having to deal with retrogradeness, will show us some more states dropping off the list, to sign the new treaty that is in question, to say the least. Okay, this is my take today. My personal advice is maybe just watch this opposition in between Moon and Pluto in the afternoon at 2 o'clock. Put some relaxing time in the afternoon in between 2 and 5, and then maybe enjoy the trine in between Moon and the Sun for the evening. Have some relaxation with friends or societies or whatever. Right, this is what I would suggest for a good energy for today. Alright, thank you for listening. This is Markus Termin, Astrologisches Stundenbuch on the 1st of December 2023. You can get in contact with me. Just use this mail address down here at my blog site. You'll find the conditions of a consultation. There's one more thing to say. You might have heard about the thing of space weather, magnetic storms coming from the Sun, which is in the Jupiter rhythm, of course. Jupiter and Saturn do those rhythms with the magnetic storms because the planets around the Sun have an influence. The Sun actually is a big body with the planets around it and influencing the Sun too. So those two planets, there's no proof for it actually because it's difficult to prove, but in my view they do make the sunspots, which occur every 11, 9 point blah 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 years, and this is happening right now. So there's a Sun magnetic storm coming to Earth today. It occurred a few days before, and it takes some time to travel through space, and it will hit Earth today. So this is something that affects people too, that it doesn't only affect technique, but as we are electromagnetic beings ourselves, we are going to be affected too. This is very close to the idea of Moon and Pluto being in opposition in this afternoon, because this is one of the strong effects that might hit people. Depends on where Capricorn and Cancer is positioned in your chart. So thank you very much for listening. Markus Termin, 1st of December 2023. Take care. See you tomorrow.